There's an important little thing that needs to be done before we are moving on, and that is the configuration check of the external bridge. If we are using OVS VSCTL show on server 1, we can see that there's a BREX that doesn't have any interfaces. That's not good. We can also see that the BRETH1 is correct, and we've got the BR10 and the integration bridge, and that is all good, but we haven't configured the external bridge yet. So let's do that. If you want to have an example of the parameters that you need to use while creating the BREX, I would recommend looking at the BRETH1, which has been created automatically by Openstack. Otherwise, it doesn't harm remembering the parameters that you need to use if you want to do the exam. So, to start with, we need to add ETH0 to the external bridge. So I'm copying ifcfg ETH0 to ifcfg BREX. First, we are going to make the ifcfg for ETH0 almost empty. We need device on boot type. So let me clean it up first. So no boot protocol, no route, no IP stuff, and no name, no UUID. We do need on boot, and everything else can go as well. Now the type is going to be OVS port. Then we need to add a device line, which is going to be ETH0. Then we need on boot is yes, and we need device type equals OVS, and also OVS bridge equals BREX. So next we need the configuration for ifcfg BREX, which is going to contain almost everything that previously was in the ETH0 configuration file. Type is going to change because type is not Ethernet. Type is OVS bridge. Then we need to add the device, which is going to be BREX. And we also need device type, which is going to be OVS. And everything else, we just need to do a quick check to make sure that everything looks okay. It looks okay, so we don't need to do anything here. And now that we've done that, we can do systemctl restart network service. I'm in an SSH session, so I might lose connection here. So this is a server 1 console, and it doesn't look too good to see BREX is down. Apparently, just restarting the network service wasn't good enough. Let's reboot the machine and see if it comes up properly. So I've just rebooted, and now we can see that BREX does have an IP address. Also, the OVS VSCTL show command is going to show us an important part of information. BREX with the BREX port as well as the ETH0 port, which is good. So let's have a look at the server configuration on server 2 here. Let's type IPA, and we can see something that I don't like too much. It's the configuration of the ETH1 and the BRETH1. We did set a physical IP address to be configured on server 1 and server 2, but for some reason this has disappeared. This is the Openstack procedure that has done something wrong, and we need to make it right. So that would be an etc sysconfig network-scripts. In this directory we've got the configuration file for the BRETH1. There's no BREX here because this is not the Neutron node. This is just a compute node. But in this script we need to add an IP address. You can see the bridge type is properly set here, and that is nice, but it is not enough. We need to add IP address equals 172.16.0.20 and prefix equals 24. We have to do this on server 1 as well, and that enables us to use an internal network as well as an external network. We can try systemctl restart network, but I don't like systemctl restart network too much. On many occasions it's just necessary to reboot the box after making network configuration changes. And let's do IPA, and we see we have an IP address right now, which is good. By the way, did you notice that while we were here, ifcfg dash br eth1, did you notice that it contains all the parameters that need to be in the bridge configuration file for the brex as well? We can see the onboot equals yes and the name and device type, which is set to OVS, and the type is OVS bridge. So this is probably going to help you to set up the brex as well on server 1. Before moving on, make sure that you do this on server 1 as well, so that you can ping the nodes on the private network. I've already done that. So if all is well, we can ping the other side, which is good. Now there is one more thing that I want to take care of before we are getting into the configuration of the virtual machines. And that is, how are we going to run the virtual machines? If nothing is done, they are running on QEMU, and QEMU is not that fast. Let's do ls of dev kvm to check if we have a kvm file. Oh, we don't have a kvm file. If this file exists, we have nested virtualization. If it doesn't exist, we are using QEMU. Now, if it does exist, you want to go into the etc nova.conf configuration file, and you want to look up the virt type parameter. Look, it is set to QEMU, and in this case that is okay, but if you want to switch to an environment that uses nested virtualization, you better switch it to KVM, because that is faster. And this really is all that needs to be done before moving into the Horizon interface and create the project, which is the subject of the next lesson. Let's move on.